Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about those paper receipts that everyone hates keeping track of. I recently surveyed a few people and their filing methods consisted of handing them to their wife, cramming them in their jacket pocket until found again in a month or so, and throwing them in a shoebox and to be pulled out during tax time. What if you could just take a picture and forget about them? There's several apps out there that let you do just that. A couple popular ones are Receipt Bank and HubDoc, and maybe we'll review those someday. But today, I'm going to talk to you about the QuickBooks app Receipt Scanner. We will talk about the tiny steps to get that receipt in your system. The goal is to take a picture of the receipts before you throw it in the shoebox and file it in the back of the closet. Okay, make that 2 shoeboxes, one for business and one for personal, because when the IRS audits, they don't care how much you spent on food and entertainment to your friends over the weekend, unless of course those friends were your clients. Now, let's get started. First, I want to show you that I have created a handout, a PDF handout that will help you detail out everything that we're going to talk about, and I have created several of these handouts for many different things, and this one is about receipts. Now, there's a whole class on how to do QuickBooks. This is just about a tiny part of the expense transaction of those handouts. So if you'll look on the handout, I've detailed out what an expense is, bill, expense, check, bill payment, all those things. And then down here you will see that there are step-by-step instructions on how to enter receipts. There are different ways of entering a receipt. Today we're going to focus on the phone app and how to enter those receipts. You'll notice here's a step-by-step instruction on how to do that, and if you scroll to the bottom we have the pictures of your phone app. So if you download that app, this makes it super simple. When you get those paper receipts, you just snap that picture, throw your receipt in the shoebox, or do a better filing system, whatever works best for you. But then you will have a copy of that receipt actually attached to your financial information in the software system. So when you do get audited, it's super easy to go find that receipt and give it to your auditors. Okay, so here's the front screen of the phone app. You will notice that on this screen there is a button called Receipt Snap. You'll click on that button. It'll then take you to a screen where you can take a picture of your receipt. So here's a receipt that I took a picture of to show you an example. And then once the receipt picture is taken, QuickBooks will think about it for a little bit. It may take a minute or two for that transition from your phone all the way up into the cloud into your financial information, so you may have to wait. But while you're waiting, have no fear, you can actually snap a second receipt. So when that second receipt, when you're done with all those receipts, whether you've saved them up for a week or a month, and you have all those taken care of, you can then go to the next screen, which will show you a list of all the receipt pictures that have been taken. Now this right here is a holding tank. This is where those receipts pictures will just stay there until you tell the system what to do. It's not already in your general ledger. It's not going to reflect on your balance sheet income statements. It's just sitting here waiting for you to tell it what to do. Now, you can do that step here, or you can do that step in the software itself. So you can switch from the phone to the computer, depending on what makes it easier for you. If you're out and about doing lunch and you just take a picture and have nothing else to do, fine, work on it on your phone, get it done before you even get back to the office. But if you're back at the office and you prefer a bigger screen and a full-on keyboard, then you can switch to the computer. So if you're here, we're going to show you how to switch to the computer, and let me get you that screen up here just a moment. And okay, so when you log into your QuickBooks system, qbo.intuit.com, if you have never used QuickBooks, that's where you would go. This is your dashboard. So from your dashboard you can go many different places, but to get to the receipts that have been scanned in, you go over here to the left part of the screen You go to banking, and then receipts are down here at the bottom. Now, that is, at the time that I'm making this video, QuickBooks likes to change things around. So it might be there by the time you watch the video. So there are many ways to get receipts into the system. You can do that through the app that I just showed you. As you can see on the screen, you can upload it from a computer. You can sync a Google Drive folder to it. You can actually create a email address to email receipts directly to the software and your database specifically. So things like Google Drive expenses, things that are automatic and you just get emails for them, don't actually get paper receipts, those can all still be entered in through this system. Today we're going to focus on the paper receipts though. So down here you will see a list of receipts that have been scanned in, emailed, however they got into your system, and then from here you can decide how you want to process those. So you will see here somehow we got that in twice, right? So we accidentally took a picture twice on our phone, or we couldn't remember if we took a picture, so we just did it again. QuickBooks is smart enough to say, hey wait, this is the same place that you bought the same exact amount of money. We think that's a duplicate invoice or a receipt. And sometimes that could be true. And sometimes you could actually buy the same exact thing. For example, I have a contractor, he buys exactly $100 worth of gas because that's as far as the gas tank will let him go. Then he has to do another $100 gas. So there could be a place where you have two receipts of the same amount. Most likely not though. So never fear, if you put it in here twice, all you have to do is click on the little checkbox, go up here to batch action, and delete that transaction. It'll go away, you won't have to worry about it. All right, so that takes care of these yellow highlighted system markings. Then you will also notice that QuickBooks is smart enough and says, hey, wait a second, I have something on 3/12 for the exact same amount. Could it be the same transaction? If you look at that receipt, you look at your transaction in the system, they are exactly the same thing. You can click match over here, and the match window will come up and connect your image of the receipt that you have with the transactions that's already been entered in the system. Now, QuickBooks does have a little bit of a glitch here in that fact that this doesn't always work. So the matching of the receipt and the transaction in the system don't always find each other. So my suggestion is to do the paper receipt images first. Make sure those are entered, and then go enter your transactions in any other way that you need to. Because you may get double entries, or they may not match the image with the transaction. That gets a little confusing. So doing this part of the system first makes it much easier and faster. You will notice down here, this is an emailed Zoom one that I sent in via email. So you can see they all kind of come into this one big giant holding tank, and then you can add it to your general ledger after this screen. Okay, so I'm not going to show you the next steps on exactly how to adjust it, but let me show you what the finished thing looks like. So if you go over here, hold on, so sorry, let me go to the right screen. We're going to go here to expense. So this is one restaurant expense that has already been entered. And when you go and add all those details, you can see you can put the name of the payee, or in this case I just put restaurant, the way that you paid, whether it was credit card or bank account, the date, your category or your general ledger account, description, amounts, those all go in here. And down here there's an attachment box that shows the attachment. So if you clicked on the attachment, it'll bring up that information, and you will see there's a receipt. And here's the receipt information. So that makes it very nice and clean, easy to keep track of all your receipts. They won't get accidentally thrown under the floorboards of your car and then you can't find them later. So this makes it all work well. Now the other thing is you can create an expense from scratch, and instead of having that receipt itself, so for example, go in plus expense, right? And then down here at the bottom there is still your attachment area. So you can download a file maybe that you had saved on your computer. You can also add it this way instead of running it through the other screen we showed you earlier. You will notice all these expenses will run through, like I showed you, a credit card register. So if you come over here to your credit card register, you will see that it has been entered in as one of those transactions in your register, which then also carries through financial statements and everything else. And then you can keep track of how much money you have in your bank, how much money is on your credit card that you have to pay off, any other information you may need for running your business. And so that is the detailed information on how to put receipts in there. If you need more help, you can always download the handout, and the handout can be found here at this link. And you can go in, download it, then you have those step-by-step instructions in case I was talking too fast or you were confused about a step. That will help you out. All right. Then if you need more help, if this is way too confusing and difficult, then you need to contact me. You can contact me at this end in any of these ways that would be helpful to you. Emailing, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then also YouTube. So if you're finding this in a different method, I have a YouTube channel that has more instructions on how to do things in QuickBooks.